Okay, here's a quick intro video for a 3-acre tract at Timber Shoals Ranch, which is in northernmost Boone County, Arkansas. This particular tract has direct frontage on the Corps of Engineer line at Bull Shoals Lake. So as we look at the video, the property is outlined in red here. Like I said, it's 3 acres. If you're familiar with Bull Shoals Lake and Table Rock Lake and several others, they're maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers. So private folks like you and I can't own the actual water frontage because the Corps of Engineers keeps this buffer zone so that they can raise and lower the water level at the dam, and it won't affect the property owners. So this shaded area that you see, well, all over the place, that's the Corps of Engineer land. So what you can do is, if you're lucky enough to do so, you can have land that actually borders the Corps of Engineer land, which is open for public use, and that gives you access to the lake, gives you additional land for hunting and recreation. It's in short, it's a pretty good deal. It's similar to having land on national forest that you can use and enjoy, except that this also gives you access to the water. And this is a phenomenal lake. So I am going to try to keep this kind of short, although there's a lot to talk about on this. So here we've got the property outlined in red. Just quickly here, I'll zoom out. It's got kind of cluttered. This is MapRight, and we love MapRight, but it does have some limitations. So if you look at this peninsula, this large peninsula, this is Timber Shoals Ranch, completely bordered by the Corps of Engineer, that shaded area that you can see. These yellow lines are private roads for property owners and their guests. Other than when they cross onto the Corps of Engineer land, then they're not private anymore. Now they're basically for public use. But when you're looking at this Corps of Engineer land, you have to use these private roads to get there by vehicle. So that means it's basically, realistically, for the use of property owners and their guests at Timber Shoals Ranch, unless you come by boat. So here on the north side, this is the state line, Missouri and Arkansas. So this is Taney County, Missouri on the north. This is Boone County, Arkansas, where the property is located. To get there, you'll come down this paved road, which is Mo Ark Road. You get basically right to the state line, and the pavement ends. You'll see a red gate. That's for a neighbor's house there. You're actually going to go left onto the gravel, and then you go southerly, and that's how you enter Timber Shoals Ranch and the road system here. The pink line indicates a trail that crosses a meadow, and you can get to State Line Cove, which is this cove right here, which is a decent place to launch a boat. Got to have a truck because you do have to go through the kind of a rough trail to get there. But we've launched pontoon boats, jet skis. The other place that we've personally launched boats is down here at the end on what we call the sandy beach area. Although, as we discovered the other day, when the water level's up, there's really no sand. It's covered, and the water comes up to about this green area in that case. But another good place that we've launched boats. Okay. Oh, as long as we're here, we'll zoom out a little more. We're only about 20 minutes southeast of Branson. So this is Branson up here. Although by car, it takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I would guess. You've got to go east, cross the lake, and then come on down to the south to get there. We're also just a little over an hour out of Springfield, Missouri, which is a fantastic, phenomenal city in southern Missouri. Okay, so now let's go ahead and zoom in here. We're using the MapRight program, which, like I said, it is great. It does have some limitations. The base map for this layer is the Google map, and Google takes pictures at different times of the year. And so this northern part of the video is a wintertime photo, and then the southern part is a summertime photo. So that's why it's kind of grayish here and green here where the property is. Okay, so really briefly here. So from the top, come down on Mo Ark Road, hang a left onto the gravel easement road, follow that down. You'll pass like a gray barn structure, stay to the right, and then you get to the property on the right. 3 acres in size, has about 300 feet of frontage on the gravel easement road. Goes back to the west, and then directly borders the Corps of Engineer land for about 275 feet. So you have direct access there. This is one of the few properties We have a very small number of these tracts on this west side that I would classify as view properties, phenomenal view. The topography is set up just perfectly that if you were to clear out some of the smaller timber, you would have a breathtaking lake view. And that's evidenced by, whoops, hang on here. As you come in, as you go left and go onto the gravel easement road, look to your right and you'll see this house right here. And he also has a view property. That house has been there for 10 or 20 years, but same type of topography. He's built his house very close to the core line and then cleared out some timber. And I mean, the view is phenomenal. You can actually see the view up here from the road, but as you get to the house, and I haven't been in the house, but I can only imagine that the view from his back deck is just out of this world. I mean, it's what people talk about when they're thinking about a lakeview property. So the idea being that these tracts, since the topography is similar, it's more or less flat right up here by the road, then it starts to slopes down steeply as you get toward the west side, and that's what you need to have that lake view. So actually, if we switch to a topo map here, basically on a topo map, each line indicates an elevation change of 20 feet. So when the lines are far apart, that means something is fairly flat. When they're close together, that means it's steep. So here on the east side up by the road, fairly flat, as you can see. The heavier lines, all those are 100-foot total interval. So every fifth line is a heavier line to indicate a total interval change of 100 feet. So we're basically more or less flat and starts to slope, slope, slope. And then once you get to the western side, that's where it starts to get steep. So if you were to, for instance, do your building site over here, I mean, you've got a couple 100 feet worth of trees that you can clear out on your own private property because you can't clear the trees on the Corps of Engineer land. But you can clear them out on your own private property to open up that killer view, just breathtaking. All of our tracts, once they've been paid for in full, you can cut the timber, you can use it for firewood, you can leave it. You can't cut the timber until the property's been paid for in full, except that we can make written exceptions for trails, driveways, and potentially views. So you just have to get a hold of us for any details on that. But so you look at the west side, 275 feet of frontage on the core. It does get steep. We haven't walked down to the water, but I'm sure you could find a way down to the water, but it's going to be steep. I wouldn't quite call it a bluff because it's not a sheer drop, but I mean it's pretty darn steep. I wouldn't want to have to go up and down that 20 times a day, but I would sure think that if a guy wanted to, he could make a trail to the bottom and do some fishing right there, or you know, dock your boat for the day right there, and that kind of stuff. So let's go back to, there we go. But I mean, come on out and take a look at it. What you want to do is go to InstantAcres.com to see if the property's still available. If it is, then you'll see it on our website. Down here to the left, this is the Tucker Hollow Marina. I mean, there's just a lot here. And we can send you the direct link to this actual map, which is invaluable when you go to view the property. You'll need the MapRight app, which is free. They have a service you can pay for, but you don't need to. All you need is the free app. Then we'll email you a link to this actual map. Open that email on whatever device has the MapRight app. Click on the link to open it up within the app. It sounds more complicated than it is. But then this map will pop open on your screen, and there'll be a little blue dot to indicate exactly where you are, where your phone is. It works off of GPS, I'm told. So as you drive out here, there'll be a little blue dot along the road. You'll keep going. You can see which way you are. And then when you get to the property, I mean, it's fantastic because you can more or less walk the borders just by having your phone in your hand. And it's not 100% precise, but it's accurate enough to give you a good idea of what's going on out there. So yeah, really special property. So hard to find stuff with frontage on the core line. Not only does this have that, but it's got road access. It's got a phenomenal view. A lot of good timber. Check out the listing to see some other videos. Let us know if you have any questions. If this one's gone, then hopefully we can find you something else. But it took us forever to get these tracks, and stuff on the core line goes really quickly. So if you have any questions, let us know. And meanwhile, check out www.bullshoalslake.com hard for me to say that, .instantacres.com.